Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy, and today we are going to do a review, finally. And I know you've all asked for them, and I need to get back to that. So here's a review. One of my subscribers, Holly, sent this to me and said, hey, you really need to check out this food. I think you'll be surprised. And so I did, and I was surprised. So we're going to go ahead and just dive in here. This is Nature's Logic, kind of a cool name. It's an American company, and so we're going to take a look at their marketing on their website a little bit, and then bottom line, show me the nutrients. We'll take a look at both their dog and cat line and see how well they do in the nutrient department. So here we go. So the first thing I have to say is I love their website. It gives me all the information I want. You can go to the different products and you can click on each diet. There's a few versions of dry food, a few versions of canned, both canine and feline. And it's kind of fine print. You have to look for it, but you can see they actually have the dry matter percentage. So you can look at that. It's like right under the guaranteed analysis, which is really big. But then if you look at the fine print, you'll see that. And so that's great. I wish every company had to give us at least the dry matter percentage. So they give us all the information we could want. So that's good. So I looked at their history. I figured we'd start there. It's a company in 2005, Nature's Logic founder, this gentleman named Scott Freeman, he started developing the concept of a pet food focusing on the benefits of whole food nutrition without the use of added synthetic supplements, which are widely used in the pet food industry to meet the nutritional analytical levels of dog and cat foods. So this is a food they're really big on just natural and getting all the vitamins and minerals from the whole natural ingredients in the food. So that's their big thing. One company in a long time, one company and a long-time veterinarian friend had similar approaches to nutrition, but mainly in the realm of supplements. Their work and vision made a lasting impression on Scott to see if it was possible to complete pet diets with the same rationale of providing all the essential nutrients from whole foods rather than depending on synthetics to easily and cheaply meet nutritional requirements. Um, so, little red flag there. Maybe that's a little bit biased that to use synthetics, it's easy and it's cheap, and that's why companies do it. I don't know, difference of opinion here. We'll see. Um, in late 2005, the first test batches of Nature's Logic were created, and by January of '06, some of the first product was being retailed in the USA. They passed without any problem, and since then, the canine and feline canned diets have also been substantiated, for all life stages. We'll look into that, the life stages part. You know me already. The red flag is going up again. The ultimate goal of Nature's Logic is to provide nutritious and safe products that people can feel good about feeding their canine and feline family. So that's kind of the history, and I think there was another little thing I could read you. Try to give them. I went to you can go to each of the diets, which is great. It's really a well done website. So Distinction is the name. Distinction Canine. I always do chicken. You guys know I always do chicken first. Then it will can, vary from there. But it says real chicken as the first ingredient, gluten-free probiotic dog food. So not really a big fan of probiotics. I'm not really sure they even survive in the food, and not a lot of research behind that. But whatever, it's in there. That's good. Gluten-free. Don't care, but that's fine. Real chicken is the first ingredient. Of course, we all know that's just water weight, right? But what does it say? What does it say about the food? It delivers 91% of its protein from high quality meat sources and features chicken as the first ingredient. It contains no legumes, peas, potatoes, corn, wheat, or soy. It's gluten free. Um, and it delivers everything that it delivers without synthetic vitamins and minerals. So they're really big on no synthetic vitamins and minerals. And the last line, it's complete and balanced for dogs of all ages, sizes, and breeds. And then under that, if I can fit it in the description for you guys, it says the AAFCO statement, complete and balanced nutrition for all life stages, and is comparable in nutritional adequacy to a product which has been substantiated using AAFCO feeding trials. So what they're saying there is this food is so similar to one of their foods that they did do an AAFCO feeding trial. I forget which flavor it was, but they did. So this is one of those family rules where we did the AAFCO feeding trial on this food. We're not going to do it on all these others because it's basically the same thing. We just changed the flavor. So they're kind of, it's the first time I've actually seen an AAFCO statement kind of really spell that out as to why it doesn't just say formulated, it actually says it's comparable to something else. So it's an interesting thing I've never seen before, that AAFCO allows them to do that, because I'm sure other food companies that have multiple flavors could do the same thing, but you might find them just saying formulated because that particular flavor didn't go through an AAFCO feeding trial and the other flavor did. So I really like that they're saying, hey, this is so close but we did do a feeding trial with the parent diet. Does that make any sense? So anyway, there wasn't a lot of marketing BS in their website. There's a picture of some of their foods here, nice packaging and all. But of course, bottom line is their big thing is they're all natural. There's no synthetics, no synthetics. Maybe if I can find it, I'll put up that chart that shows you the relationship between minerals and how they all act on each other, and too much calcium affects phosphorus, and too much magnesium will bind zinc, and all this other stuff. That it's really a very complicated, precise science. And my belief has always been, or my understanding is, how can you just take natural ingredients and come up with that careful balance? And as we've shared many times before, when it comes to minerals, you could call it ash, the ash level. And I was just listening to a board certified nutritionist talking about meat meals and meat sources. And he basically said low ash, of course, determines, if you see low ash, it's a high quality ingredient. If you see high ash, high mineral content, then it's got a lot of bone, hair, hoof, feathers, whatever in it. So the ash percentage really does tell you a lot. Doesn't specify what minerals, just at the total mineral count. So they talk a lot about ash too. They talk about synthetics. They use meat meals, so that was impressive. They're not, even though they're using chicken as the number one ingredient in certain foods, other foods, chicken meal is the first ingredient. They explain how chicken meal can be just as good as chicken, and as a matter of fact, it's just removing the water weight. The ash level determines the quality, right? The mineral content. So overall, their marketing is pretty good, but of course, show me the nutrients. So let's go ahead and let me close this down, and we will look at some of the nutrients in this food. Okay, so what I'll do first, I think, let me put up the parameters we're looking at, the optimum ranges for protein, calcium, and phosphorus. The main reason is because protein, of course, is critical, but the calcium and phosphorus is, again, just like we said about ash, it's a great indication of the quality of those meat sources and how well the company is controlling mineral levels to be optimal and not excessive or deficient. So it really is a great indicator of we start there. If they score well there, we can go on to other things. But if they don't score well there, then we're kind of done and probably should move on to another diet. So here's the ranges. This is in Small Animal Clinical Nutrition. It's probably the quintessential textbook of nutrition out there for veterinarians, all because it's been based on evidence and peer-reviewed studies and now decades of research. Let's go ahead and take the dry dog food. This is dog we're doing here. And let's put the chicken flavor up against these numbers and see how well it does. And what do we see? We see that protein comes in at 39%. So it's a little outside that 30% max, but I will tell you that nowadays that is so common, and we've seen on this channel, just some of our reviews, we've seen 40 and 50%. So 39 isn't terribly high. I looked at the sardine flavor. I thought let's like really just get two way different flavors. So I said, let's look at sardines. And you can see that comes in at 38.6. So really, basically the same as far as protein level. But the real story is show me the minerals, right? Show me the calcium and phosphorus. And let me put them both up here, and you'll see when we look at the whole picture, we see that the chicken comes in at 2.27% of calcium, phosphorus at 1.46. Okay, so this is really interesting. The sardine version, look at the mineral content, calcium 2.45 and phosphorus 1.58. So it's a little higher, even though the protein level is about the same. It is definitely a little higher in mineral content, being fish, I guess. So that's interesting. And I think I did those two dry, and then I decided I don't do canned enough. People have told me, do more canned. So because their website's so easy to navigate, I said let's look at 3 canned foods to see if we get a better calcium phosphorus ratio somewhere, or not ratio, but level. And so the canned food, I looked at chicken, pork, and sardines again in the canned version. And I will put up the, um, uh, we don't need the protein really. I want to look at the calcium and phosphorus. So let's put that up. And you'll see what a difference. Pork wins out for sure as far as the healthiest, especially if my dog that I'm feeding is older and maybe those kidneys are a little tired, or we already have some renal compromise. I don't want to be making that worse with higher phosphorus and higher protein. But here we're looking at phosphorus. We just look at these 3. What a big difference in the pork version. The pork version is pretty darn close to the optimal range, isn't it? It's real close. The sardines and chicken, though, you can see really high, and the sardines and phosphorus is the highest canned version. So sardines did not score very well. So my friend Ed out there who feeds, he has sardine Sunday, is it, whatever, for his cats. Sardine didn't do too well in this comparison here, a little high. But anyway, so there's canine. Okay, so we can go ahead and do cat now. Real quick, we're going to look at dry food. We're going to look at the chicken flavor. And then I thought, let's do sardines because that seems to be an interesting one in this brand. So if we look at the chicken dry cat food, first of all, let's start looking at the optimal ranges. And you can see there it's higher in protein because they're true carnivores. Cats require meat protein and higher levels of protein. And you can see the calcium levels about the same, and so is the phosphorus is really darn close too. So this is for adult cats, and what I found was again, all their cat foods are for all life stages. So that's disappointing already. That tells me I'm probably not going to like what I see as far as mineral control, because it has to be high enough for growing kittens. So to take that and feed it to an adult cat, or worse yet, an older cat, that's not optimal. Okay, so if we throw up chicken, I should never say throw up when we're talking about food, huh? Okay, let me put up on the board the chicken version, and we can see that it comes in. Look at that protein level right in there. That is impressive. Most cat foods out there, you've seen it on my channel, you've seen it on Dr. Ray's channel, way high in protein. Just, oh, cats are true carnivores, they need lots of protein. So this is very impressive to see 40.9%. If we look at the calcium and phosphorus, again, it's not great. It's not wonderful. I've seen worse, but it's not great. Okay. If we look at the, I put up the sardines. Let's put up sardines next to the chicken. If we look at the sardine feline dry product, 42.2% protein, that's fine. But again, look at the calcium and phosphorus, 2.8 in calcium. Man, that's a lot of calcium, and 1.88 in phosphorus. So we're talking really excessive levels in this dry sardine version of Nature's Logic. Not really happy with that. If we look at 2 canned cat foods, let's go ahead and look at the canned. And remember, this is on a dry matter basis. What do we find? I'm going to put rabbit and the sardine canned together just so we can see them both on one screen. And we'll see rabbit is way higher in protein. And there's the calcium phosphorus level, excessive, not as bad as sardines. And then if we look at the sardine version, 45.44. Again, look at that calcium, 2.33, really high, and the phosphorus at 1.40. So, this is where I struggle with this whole idea that we can manage the precise nutrient levels, the mineral levels in a food just with whole ingredients versus actually using supplementation. Now, they made it sound like it's just this cheap, easy way to balance all that, and they do it with real ingredients. I'm not impressed with, this is not the mineral content that I would want to feed my dog or my cat. Unless they were puppies and kittens, which, again, as you know from Dr. Ray's videos and mine and a few other sources, anytime it says all life stage, it has to meet all life stages, which includes growth and lactation, for that matter. So you're basically going to get nutrient levels high enough for growth, for growing puppies and kittens. To turn around and then feed that to an adult animal, whether it's a dog or cat, you're just increasing their risk of urinary stones, hypertension, obesity, kidney disease. And it doesn't mean you're causing them. No, you're not. But it just, if we're shooting for optimal, we're shooting for what's the best possible nutrient profile for this pet, those excessive numbers would not be it. So there you go. There's nature's logic. That's my 2 cents. Somebody else may think different, but happy to share it with you. Holly, thanks for passing that on. It's always interesting to look at nutrients. Nutrients will always surprise you, whether in a good way or in a bad way. And sometimes the nutrients don't match up to the marketing at all. We've seen that plenty of times. So anyway, it is Thanksgiving week, and I don't think I'm going to be making another video before Thanksgiving. So I hope all my Nutrition Mission family out there have a wonderful holiday with your family. I hope you can get together with the people you want to be with, and just put up with the ones that you really'd rather not be with. We're having a quiet one here in Colorado with my one son and his kids, and then some friends for dessert after. So our holiday will be a little quieter than usual, but that's nice. And all my Christmas decorations on the outside are up, but you're not going to get to see them until December, when I'll do a Christmas video and show you what I did outside. It's my wife said it looks like Las Vegas, but I don't know, whatever. You're supposed to have fun, right? You all take care. Talk to you next time.